Hey everyone. Hey Warrior Node. We have a section dedicated to the audit today. You'll be pleased to hear.
Okay, let's give everyone about one more minute before we get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Farmer Office Hours. Some of you have been with us since the start, and some are just getting started. We appreciate you taking the time to be here today. You'll notice this week that we're back on Discord. This is a deliberate change as we've had recent feedback from the community here that we could do better on providing information. Today, we want to get back to our roots and make sure we hold time for and try our best to answer your questions. As always, this call is an opportunity for us to share the latest happenings at Autonomys, provide updates on various initiatives, and most importantly, hear from you, the community. Your questions, feedback, and engagement help shape the direction of the network, and we're excited to walk through what we've been working on. I'd like to mention that our new APAC lead, Rose Quan, I hope I'm saying that right, is in the crowd today, and we'll be officially introducing her on the next community call. We're very happy to have her on the Autonomys team. We have a full agenda today, including a demo of some new functionality, a wallet collaboration, and a special visit by one of our engineers who will give us an update on the audit. You'll hear from a few members of the team, and we'll open the floor to Q&A at the end. I'm Randy, the Technical Community Manager at Autonomys, and I'll be giving a few updates on network performance, some hot issues, and then passing things on to Jim. Here with me today, we have Jim, our head of community, who will be presenting a bridge demo, offering a glimpse of our new wallet collaboration and hosting Q&A. And then we're trying to get one of our engineers, I'm going to slaughter his name too, so we'll just do it by Ved, and he should be discussing the audit. Before we get into it, let's have a quick reminder to follow us on our socials if you haven't already. We have X at autonomys.net, where you can get the most up-to-date information on our progress, and Autonomys Labs, where we post more technical content developers and engineers are likely to find interesting. And if you're here listening to our Discord, you already have that one. And then on Telegram, we have autonomous.xyz Telegram. And then our forum at forum.autonomous.xyz. These are the best places to stay up to date as we progress towards mainnet phase 2. As you can see, we have a busy agenda as usual. I will start with the usual state of the network piece and talk about several hot topics with Taurus. Jim will follow with the bridge demo, and Ved will update us on the state of the audit. And then it'll be back to Jim for our Cosmic Cultivators teaser. As always, we will want your Q&A questions, so we encourage you to pop them in chat during the call. And please remember to keep them in English so we can address them effectively. Thanks. With that, let's get started with the network update. So on our mainnet, our node count is 1181, and we have 516 petabytes pledged. As a reminder, that number goes up and down all the time with as the number is just an estimate in the Astral portal. So you'll see various numbers throughout the day. Our latest version from mainnet hasn't changed in a while. It's January 14th. On the Taurus side of things, where we have the most activity lately, our node count is 278, space pledged 1.63 petabytes. And we had a new version recently, about 9 days ago on April 7th. So as far as that new version, like I said, mainnet's been pretty stable. We haven't seen a new version there. But for Taurus, we've had 2 new CLI releases, the March 28th and the April 7th. The details of these last updates are in GitHub, but I think the most important fixes in these updates that people were looking for were the fixes for the 2-peer problem and for the excessive RAM usage in the node client. Let's move on to hot topics. So we have quite a few of them as we've been making a lot of development progress on Taurus. We've also had a few issues come up. Some of these have been solved already, and some of them we're still working on. Probably one of the biggest ones that people have been talking about is the two-peer issue. This is where when you would try to sync your node or even just restart your node, you would only see 2 peers, and sometimes that would result in slow or syncing to be stopped. This one should be solved now as most people have updated to at least the March 28th version. The other big one is the high RAM usage. This was reported as well and became quite a bit of problem as the RAM usage that some people were experiencing were over 100 gigabytes of RAM. Luckily, this one has been addressed in the most recent April 7th version. So another one that's been happening lately is the XDM message queue clears slowly. This is where we have 90,000 slots open to send XDM messages, and with all the activity and people sending these to stress test the network, the queue has been mainly full, and it's just not clearing as fast enough. The root cause to this issue has been identified, and a fix is being developed. Another issue that has been reported is that a single user can submit over 100 XDM transfer transactions in one block that causes most nodes to fall out of sync. Another one, node sync is slow and often stalls. That could be related to the prior issue there. Some users are managing to sync after 4 or 5 days, while others are unable to sync from scratch at all. These issues are still being worked on. We have a couple warnings in the logs. They're listed here on the screen. I won't get into them too much. Some of these we just might end up downgrading from a warning to an info or a debug. As far as Astral issues, it's a little bit unclear on Astral which domain block must be reached to unlock transactions. The system currently counts from consensus block and not from domain block to track the 14,400 blocks. So hopefully that'll be fixed soon. And then another issue reported on Astral is that downloading the account extrinsic spreadsheet takes 11 minutes for around 70,000 transactions. So hopefully that will be addressed soon as well. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Jim, where he is going to do his demo. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks for that comprehensive roundup. We know that there are a number of issues with Taurus and Astral. Some we've fixed, but there's still a couple outstanding. This is part of what we wanted to achieve with Game of Domains, so things are progressing as we'd hoped. Okay, we are going to switch gears, and yeah, hopefully everything's going to go well because I'm going to try and do a live demo for you. Right, here we go. Okay, can you see that okay, Randy?
I can.
Okay, right, excellent. Okay, so we're going to talk about a bridge. Okay, so before we get into that, let's talk briefly about why having a bridge is so important for the autonomous ecosystem and what opportunities it unlocks for AI3 holders. So bridges serve as critical infrastructure for blockchain networks. They enable seamless movement of assets across different chains. For Autonomys, having a reliable bridge like our newly launched Hyperlane bridge means that AI3 holders can effortlessly access liquidity, decentralized applications, and exciting opportunities available on other blockchains. It effectively expands the utility of AI3 by opening pathways to broader DeFi ecosystems, marketplaces, and communities. So where we have XDM for transferring internally, so that's between consensus and domains and back again, and between domains, the bridge is how you are able to go from a domain like Auto EVM, which is where this one's based, onto, so let's say, Ethereum. And what we're looking at today, which I'm very excited to walk you through, is a bridge that takes us from Auto EVM on Taurus, so domain 0 on Taurus, over to the Ethereum Sepolia testnet. Hopefully that will make sense, but please do pipe up in the chat if you have any questions about anything I just said, because I'm very happy to walk you through how that works. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go from Taurus Auto EVM to Sepolia. So you can see here we have the URL. I'm going to pop that in the chat for everyone so you can check it out and try this yourself. And I'm going to use MetaMask today. What you can connect a whole plethora of wallets are available actually. If you we have Wallet Connect integration. I should have shown that actually, but I'll let you explore that. Basically, pretty much any wallet you can think of is supported here. But I know that MetaMask is super popular. So what are we looking at here? So we've got like a description about the networks. These faucets allow you to grab a little bit of the tokens that you need to test this out. So you're going to need to send back. You're going to need a bit of Sepolia ETH. And to send, obviously, you're going to need to have some TAI3, testnet AI3. So today we're going to start off, we're going to send something, we're going to send a couple of tokens from Auto EVM over to Sepolia. So we are going to send TAI3 and let's send 5 over. Okay, so by default, what happens is your recipient address. Now, remember that on Auto EVM, we don't have substrate addresses. We have EVM addresses because it's an EVM compatible domain. So by default, what's going to happen is you're actually going to send to your same address on Ethereum. Of course, your seed phrase resolves to that same address, and you can switch between networks as you normally would on MetaMask. So let's go ahead and send. Okay, and what we can see is where we're going to go. So we're going to send 5 TAI3. Here is the contract address of the remote token. Here's our local gas estimate, and let's go for it. And you can't see it, but I've got the usual MetaMask pop-up. It's telling me that I have a transaction request and it's asking me to authorize it, which I am just going to do. So I've confirmed that. And if we give it a moment, we should hopefully get a confirmation back. And
No stress, Jim, just a live demo.
yeah, I know. Why do we do it? Why do we do it to ourselves? My mic's a bit quiet. I've just seen Emil's comment. If I adjust the microphone, is that any better?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, Zug is patiently waiting as we all are. And hey, just as I was starting to worry. Okay, so we've got some information in front of us now because, of course, it's worked first time. We have sweat smile indeed, Jeremy. Okay, so our sender address. This is my the address that my EVM address that I've got connected in MetaMask. So I've sent from that address, and I've sent to the same address on the remote network. I do have where is it now? Origin transaction hash. This is what I wanted to show you. So this is going to open the transaction on BlockScout, which is our auto EVM version of Etherscan. You can think of it. So we can see, okay, 57 seconds ago, we've got some block confirmations. Everything is looking good here. So now I know that I have 5 AI3 on the Sepolia testnet, and I can interrogate the transaction. We can go into a bit more detail about contract addresses on Sepolia. If that interests people, let me know in the chat. But for now, I'm going to try and send some back. So let's switch things around. We've got a rather convenient button to do that there. So now we're going to send from Sepolia back to Taurus testnet. And this time, though, I'm going to be sending back the Wrapped AI3. So what's Wrapped AI3? We've actually got our own Wrapped AI3 on Auto EVM, but this is Wrapped AI3 on Sepolia. What that means is that there's an ERC20 contract which represents AI3 over on the Sepolia test network. And let's just go for it. Let's try and send ourselves back. Let's not send it all back. Let's send back 3 just for a laugh. And I hope that I have enough Sepolia ETH left to pay for the transaction, of course. So let's go for it. Okay, I'm being asked to authorize the transaction once again in MetaMask, and I've done that. Okay. Indeed, Todd, of course. So what's going on here, of course, is there's quite a lot going on under the bonnet. When we transfer these tokens, what happens is we talk to a contract on the source network, a bit like XDM actually, and we say, okay, we want to transfer these tokens over to another chain. There's a bunch of infrastructure in the back end, relayers, the hyperlane protocol, and all the contracts involved there, which make sure that everything's nice and secure. That's how the tokens come across. And of course, what we can do now is we can see that. So now we're looking on a different block explorer. We're looking on Sepolia Etherscan here, and similar, well, exactly the same really. We can see that my wallet has interacted with a contract, and my transfer back has been successful. I think that's all there is to it, really. Happy to answer any questions you may have about this. Very important piece of infrastructure, because how do you get your AI3 over to where you want to, maybe your favorite DeFi platform, for example, maybe that's on Ethereum. So what you might want to do is transfer them from Auto EVM onto Ethereum, and while we're working between Taurus and Sepolia at the moment, this is a bit of kit that we're going to have deployed on mainnet as well. So you'll be able to take those tokens that you have, those AI3, over onto where the action is, where the liquidity, where those applications that you know and love are. Obviously, our plan is to have a vibrant ecosystem ourselves on Auto EVM, but we appreciate that there may be a use case that you want to get your tokens out onto another network. So, yeah. There concludes my demonstration. Any questions, please do pop them in the chat. I think actually we haven't done a mic check yet. Let me stop streaming here. We haven't done a mic check. Ved, are you there? Can we hear you? I know your camera's working.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm here.
hey Ved. Hey Ved, how's it going?
Hey everyone.
Great. So Ved's kindly joining us today to talk through the audit, and I know that there are questions that the community have about the audit. So again, pop them in the chat. That's why we're back in Discord. We feel like it's we always had a much more kind of two-way communication here, and we want to make sure that we hold enough time for your questions. So Ved, are you okay to give us a rundown on the audit and how it's going?
Yeah, sure. So audit has been going good so far. The way that the audit currently happens on Autonomous is that we create set of PRs that we want to get in, and we tag those PRs with a specific set of priorities. Currently, we have P1, P2, P3. P1 being the highest priority that we would want auditors to look at. P2 and P3 just follows behind. P1 are the most important audits changes that we want to look at. We identified 7 PR changes that we would like to get audited as soon as possible. Of the 7, we recently finished up 2 of the PRs to be audited. Those are currently done, and the rest of the 5 are still being audited right now. One way that people can actually look at is everything is on GitHub with properly labeled out, but I can actually share some predefined URLs for folks to actually track our audit progress in terms of like how many have been audited, which are yet to be audited, etc. I can post them on chat here. That's okay, Jim, or do we post them somewhere else that users can folks can actually look at?
Yeah, we can put them into a more comprehensive update, but popping them in the chat now is great, Ved. If you could explain kind of how the views work, so we can see that like audit required, and then my understanding is that then we get the audited tag later on. And I know we've got a couple of views that people could, yeah, if you could pop them in the chat and just explain those views, that'd be really useful. Thanks, Ved.
Yeah, sure. So I've just posted one that is essentially filters out all the PRs that have a audit labeled as P1, P2, or P3 but are not yet audited. So these are the PRs that auditors are currently looking at. They are currently auditing the change set that we've provided. And as soon as they are done with auditing it, they tag those PRs with audit label, which I will share one more link that actually shows what are actually audited so far with Autonomous. So the second link that I've posted there, that actually takes you to all the PRs that have been currently audited. Some of them are still missing audit labels like P1, P2, or P3. We are working on getting them back up there so that you guys would understand which kind of priority each and every PR is. But all the audited PRs would ideally come with a label called audited, and all the PRs that are not yet audited would not have this label. Yeah, so those 2 links should ideally help you guys track how our audit is going on so far, what are the things that are yet to be audited, and what are the PRs that are not audited yet, and which are being currently being reviewed as such. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Ved. Okay, so yeah, again, if you have questions, guys, so I just want to make it clear here. So these tags here are what we're talking about. So where we are, we're in GitHub. This is the subspace protocol, and you can see that we have audit tags here with different priorities. So priority